All right, everyone. Boston has voted to make its students dumber. So if you're in the Boston area, the kid is in like elementary school or something, you should probably take them out of the public schooling system. If you get the means, privately school them or homeschool them, or better, just fucking leave the state of Massachusetts because it's got issues anyway. And trust me, I've been there. I've seen how you people drive. I remember the corruption of the Big Dig. Definitely not in ahead of schedule or under budget. I remember when they completed it, actually, like a month later. Wasn't there a big-ass concrete slab that fell down in the middle of the Big Dig tunnel and almost crushed, several vehicles? Thank goodness nobody was injured. They had to close it down and repair it. It got some problems. This is classic Boston. But apparently what they've decided, the wokals there, they've decided that there are racial disparities in educational attainment with regards to advanced courses. And of course they don't mention East Asian students here because that would not be politically correct. So they've decided, well, if you've got a disproportionate number of white kids or East Asian kids in advanced courses, that's not equity, so we need to get rid of the advanced courses. So you shouldn't expect any good doctors to come from Boston anymore. You shouldn't expect that anyone with particular aptitude will come from Boston because they're all going to be forced into lower level courses. Like as an anecdote, I remember Vermont has a relatively good public school system. It's one of the highest ranked in the nation. I think it's number 3. I think Minnesota is number 1 or used to be, and New Hampshire I think pulled ahead, but Vermont might be number 2. Might be number 1 at the moment. I think Maine's up there as well. And Massachusetts has been fairly high on that list if you ignore some of the lower level schools maybe in bad neighborhoods in the Boston or Springfield areas, to be honest. And I went to a good high school. It's in the top 10 in Vermont. And I took advanced placement courses. I took a full battery of college prep courses because they offered that. And only a couple of basic courses. And it's just, basically, if you tend to be overachiever in the academic department and you're taking a basic course, it's a filler course. It's basically, I don't want to be bothered with this. I just want to be able to sit there and goof off, and I'll get straight A's, and it'll look good for my GPA and shit like that. Although they do weight it for AP courses. Valedictorian had like a 4.6 GPA due to weighting. Very intelligent person. I think actually went to Boston University. Back when Boston University could be counted on to give you advanced courses, probably. So, the problem is this. This actually almost goes into mental health. I'll try to explain again as an anecdote. When I was younger, when I was an elementary school kid, I went to Woodstock. There wasn't, at the time in the 90s, the advanced coursework thing wasn't as much of a thing in smaller schools. The elementary school that I went to was reasonably small. Other than we had, there was an unofficial sort of debate team thing, and I took some like advanced learning for computer science and also for math, which I ended up stopping because I got bored. But there wasn't anything really official offered. It was just you took science, you took English. Which teacher did you get, and the coursework would be similar. It'd be about the same. I got bored because I'd be in class, I'd get this sheet of math problems, I'd whiz through them, I'd be done 10 minutes early. What the fuck else am I supposed to do? I'm a kid. I'm supposed to be like vibrating around and jumping off the walls and shit. I should be on a jungle gym somewhere. Well, instead they want me to sit there quietly, and so it became a big behavioral issue, and I got diagnosed with ADHD and all this other bullshit. When I got to high school, it all disappeared. Because all of a sudden, I realized that there were such things as college prep courses and honors courses and AP and all of these wonderful things. They're going to have so many elementary school kids with more behavioral issues because of them doing this. It's just the way that kids work. When you're 10, 11 years old or something, the last thing that you're biologically geared to do is sit still. If you want them to sit still, you have to stimulate them mentally. You have no other option. Well, they're not going to be doing that. So they're going to have a lot of very smart kids who end up underachieving in life and are ill-served by the system, and they call that equity. So their idea, the idea of equity that is spun by the left with regards to its racial justice bullshit or its gender justice bullshittery is we're going to uplift people at the bottom. We're going to uplift them. We're going to give them a hand up so they can achieve more. This isn't how you do that. This is the opposite. This is saying, well, you're at the top. You're high above this other individual, and that's unacceptable. How dare you be more organically intelligent? based, and of course, they're seeing a racial component in it. So they drag them back down. They pull them down a level or two. You're not allowed to have advanced coursework anymore because, you might outstrip other people, and there might be a racially statistical anomaly based on ethnicity or something there. Oh my God. Well, maybe you should address it in another way. Maybe you should address the fundamental underlying reasons why there's that gap. Poverty, whatever. Having lower aptitude in neighborhood schools, maybe with a racial component, they're getting less funding or something like that. Or the teachers union has preserved shitty teachers. You can make up a million reasons why, but the answer to it is not to say to the student that gets straight A's in his advanced coursework, you know what? You're going to be fucking bored for the next 2 years. Till you get to high school, we're going to hold you back, fundamentally. Well, good luck getting rocket scientists and shit from Boston anytime soon. You can end up with more janitors and less rocket scientists, I guess. I would be pissed. If I were a parent and I were, in one of these school districts, I would move. Because I would say, well, my kid's income in the future, because Social Security won't exist by the time I retire, that's how I'm going to get by. They're going to have to, help old dad out, and I want them to have a good education. And they might not even go to college, but I mean, you need a good understanding of math and science. I hope people realize this to get into most blue-collar trades, too. People think, oh, well, you're a carpenter, so you must be ignorant. No. Trust me, you're not. Architecture, carpentry, plumbing, electrician work. You don't want those people to be dumb, because then you end up with a dumb house or a dumb electrical system and you die in a fire. You die in an earthquake. Engineers, someone who works on an oil rig, they do something wrong and maybe you lose $100 million worth of fuel and fuck a local economy over. So even if you want stable blue-collar jobs, certainly people in any form of higher level work, science and shit, you need to give advanced coursework to them. What you should be doing is encouraging more people to take the advanced coursework. Well, you're on the margins, you're a B student or something. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean in a course or two that you don't have high aptitude. But instead, a lot of times in certain parts of the country, really the way teachers do it is they say, by the way, you can take advanced coursework. And what the student hears, if they're on that margin, is, hey, I can work harder and get lower grades, or I can work less hard and keep my B average at least, and I can kind of make it. You're not encouraging them to take advanced coursework. Of course you're ill-serving them, and one of the biggest problems is the teachers' unions incentivize teachers to slack off and not do a fucking good job because they know that they generally can't get fired. Some of these people commit felonies and they're still on the job, still getting their fucking pension and shit like that. Get rid of the teachers' unions. That's a better way to handle the situation. That's about all. Peace out.